Evening. I'm so sorry about that. I pressed broadcast. It said it was broadcasting and then it's immediately stopped broadcasting and said there was an error. So hopefully we're up and running now. But as you can see, we're already in the middle of the one-shot qualifying. So instead of introducing anything at all, I'm just going to continue commentating on this for just a moment until we get to the end of the one-shot so I can finally catch up with myself. But sorry to everyone who has missed the start of this one-shot qualifying. We're here in Brazil, and as you can see, it's a rainy Brazil for the race number 3 of the CRC Tier 1. As you can see, unfortunately, Mark has made a bit of an error on his one-shot qualifying and he's dropped to the back of the field. Isaac Kush, currently the quickest on track, as we can see him come around the final corner and up to the line. It's only a short lap here in Brazil as well. We'll see just how quickly he did it in. A 1:20.2. Good lap indeed in the rain, but we don't know whether or not there's going to be rain yet in the race. Of course, it's the sprint race tonight, so there's going to be one 13-lapper, I believe, or 12 or 13 laps before we go into the main race tonight, and that's how we're going to it. Yeah. He's just said really hit with a triple tag. When I was getting the thing online and trying to get us up and running, I might have got in the way. It might have come up on a few drivers' screens that we were setting it up. I am so sorry if it has, gentlemen. My apologies. But here we go. We are finally underway. So that was what that was about. First one-shot quali. Isaac Kush in the Haas was the fastest with a 1:20.2. Wouter in second for the Ferrari, and AJ. Great start for the Ferraris already in a 2 and 3. Evans behind them in the Williams. Nathan in 5th, and Becky Yoggurt behind that. Yoggurt in tonight for rotation, who is out. So Yoggurt steps in there. We've got a few others that aren't going to be here tonight. There is Resify that's not going to be here, so DeWill is with Panda, who is going to be reserving for them, and Supermug is not here, so Rowan will be partnered up in the Alfa Romeo by Yoggurt. So we're in for a decent night tonight. Last week, it looks like it's sunshine now for the sprint race, so that is good. Last week we were in Spain. Wout had taken the win for the Ferraris. Yoggurt was in second, of course. He had that late surge forward to try and do even better than that again. Nathan in getting his podium for 3rd place. Peace in 4th, Robbie in 5th, Rudy in 6th, AJ in 7th, and by the way, last week there was 6 DNFs, which we don't like to see, certainly not in Tier 1, but we'll let them off, or are we? We won't let them off. Depends how they drive tonight. So you're looking at in AJ, the Aston DeWill and Panda. Haas is at cushion. Little Man is reserving in there for Robbie tonight. Williams has Evans, but I don't think anybody's second in with Evans tonight, so I think Williams are going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be a detriment to the constructors, unless he obviously bosses it. Red Bull with Nathan Tigriff. Mercedes has Knight and Bowie, both from the REL Racing Team. Alpine has Pyro and Leroy, with AlphaTauri with Rudy and Sub. And here we go. So they come out for the formation lap for the sprint race. 12 laps, as you can see. I think I said 13 when I first came straight. The 12 laps is the sprint race. So basically every car on track will just, of course, jump onto mediums and go non-stop, of course, just all in one go. Just confirm that everybody is. Oh, interesting. So some of them believe that they can get this all done on the soft compound. Because there's few places to turn, it's not always a great benefit by getting on a faster tyre, but we'll soon see who's made a good decision there and who hasn't. Bumpier, we would expect a little bit more from him, definitely in P18 down there, so see what he can do here. Rudy not doing his one shot as well as he probably would have wanted to down there in 15th after a pretty good start to the season. What you're looking at, hang on, I'll get this off the screen so we can see the track a little bit nicer than that. So just coming around, they're going to set their cars up. So this is just the formation lap. So we'll keep on talking about the current records. Wouter we have with a 2nd place finish and a 1st place of last week on 54 points, leading the championship, with Rudy in behind on 42 points. He, of course, won the first race, but 6th last week after a bit of a problem late on in the race. Fell quite a few spots down and managed to claw himself back up to 6th position. Pease, 2 steady position finishes of 3rd and 4th, leaves him on 37 points and in P3 with Nathan in behind with 30 points. That is, he came 7th and 3rd. He got the podium last week, of course. And Evans, he's 18 points. He's in 5th. And that's with the 5th and the 10th spot. All the rest of the drivers dipping down that little bit further. Quite a few on sort of a few points between them, but quite a few not. As we can see, there's a DSQ there for Sieb, AJ and Isaac Kush maybe mid-car, or that might just be pulling up to the line. They didn't get it right pulling up to the line, but here we go. We'll go in a driver's perspective. Or shall we? Here we are, the lights are out, and here it is, the race 3 in Brazil of Tier 1. Let's get out the car, actually, and see what that first corner looks like. Is there loads of contacts? It doesn't look like. It looks like they're all pretty clean away from there. Not what we saw in Tier 3 back on Monday night, where there was absolute carnage all over the place. Let's bring that back up so we can see what's going on. Wouter, let's have a look at the intervals. Penalties, don't want that, don't want stops, don't want position changes. So Wouter takes the lead ahead of Isaac Kush in 2nd position. They look to have formed quite nicely behind. It looks like there's a couple of cars further back battling out for the spots there, coming up to the horseshoe of turn 6 and 7 as you go uphill towards Little Orange in turn 8, and of course this downhill left-hander turn 9 of Pinarino. It leaves Little Pine Tree. It can catch so many drivers out today, and my prediction is it's going to catch out at least one. What a viewpoint for the turn of turn 10, the Duck's Bill. Is that right, the Duck's Bill? Number 10, is that Duck's Bill? I think it is Duck's Bill, yeah. And then there's the dive of turn 11, and it is just flat out from here on in. Everybody opening out the ERS as you can imagine they would. On board with Bakayoko, we can see there that he's doing exactly that for a few just a few seconds on, and then takes it straight back off. Good clean start to the race in Brazil. That's what we like to see. No safety cars straight away. Wouter manages to pull half a second away from Isaac Kush in 2nd. AJ is in 3rd position after a 7th position finish last night for AJ. Last week. So fast, so 12 lap race. Can they all keep it clean? You can see further back there is a little couple leg on side by side. It looks like Jeroen and Pyro on the inside. Jeroen takes the wide line, doesn't quite get it done, but he looks to go on the inside of the next one. He doesn't look like he's being afforded a great deal of space by Pyro. He's certainly not letting him get it easy. And look at Yogurt slipping in there on the inside of his teammate for the Alfa Romeo tonight. Careful, you two, you don't want to take each other out in the sprint race, because it is very difficult to... Whoa, there we go. There was contact between the two Alfa Romeos. It looked like Pyro seemed to get in a bit of bother there around the corner. I don't know if he lost the back end a little bit. He's currently drifted inside the cars. There's a slight problem there. That's always dangerous when he's ghosted like that. For it to unghost, he can just take cars out, and that would be race over for the sprint. So hopefully that's sorted out now that he's back outside the car. Look at that view. There is absolutely all going on. Look behind there. We saw the McLaren on the inside. Pease having a little look at Yogurt. He's not going to try and do the dive behind him. It's Pyro looking again to get past Pease, and Pyro's gone. Pyro slipped, and that is him gone. He's disappeared out into yonder. He slipped going down turns 1 and 2, and unfortunately Pyro has disappeared. That will be his sprint race pretty much out and gone, because it's going to be difficult for him, unfortunately, to get back caught up with the pack. You can see here Sieb, Rudy and the Alfa Romeos going side by side. With the Alpine just in front. That's Leroy. It looks like he had a chance on Leroy, and I think he does. Yes, he does. He gets down the side of Leroy, and that gets that done. It looks like they're actually battling it out there. That's a good little race. It's a great view in behind with the two drivers going side by side. Well done to them. Really good to see Rudy and Sieb. Obviously, they're going to be careful around each other, but they've both got past Leroy, so that's great driving by the Alfa Romeos. Both slipping through there very well. Leroy dropping another spot to mark, but he is on the softs, I believe, Leroy. Let's have a look. I always forget which one I'm looking at. Where is he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So it's going to be very interesting to see these what happens with these runners. You can see there further up what's happening around the turn number 1. Looks like Pease and Yogurt go toe-to-toe with Jeroen. It looks like Jeroen's been fired off the park. It is, as they go towards Curva do Sol. That's turn number 3 in Brazil, and the DRS straight. The first DRS straight. The only DRS straight. Is it the only DRS straight in Brazil? It might be. But the Alfa Romeos... Oh no, of course the opening straight, isn't it? What am I on about? back end of Sector 3. So, yeah, they've just formed an orderly queue at the moment. They're all tucked in nice in between each other. Doesn't look like there's any battles going on currently where anybody's looking to do a dive. These are spread out nicely at the front of the pack as well. Setting the time is Wouter, last week's winner. Can he come and do it again? He did it in Spain. Can he do it in Brazil? So far, you would suggest that it looks like he sort of can. Points on offer for the sprint race as well, which I'll explain afterwards. And there we are. DRS is, of course, open now. We're on the 4th lap of 12, a third through the sprint race already. Unbelievable. Let's drop back to Euro and see what he's looking like. He's got 2 cars ahead of him. His teammate in the Alfa Romeo and P's just ahead of him going into turn 1, that downhill. Do not touch that curb on the inside. That has taken many. Steady, you can go half throttle, 3/4 throttle going around turn 2, towards turn 3 of Curva de Sol, and then straight on for the DRS. Open up the ERS if you fancy it. As you can see, Rowan has not been not doing in this sprint race so far. As you can see, he's only got about 10% left. Going that downhill, that Lakes descent, 4 and 5, and going up towards the 6 and 7 of the big horseshoe, big sweeping right, dab, yeah, well, some people dab the brakes, some people just let off. It looked like Jeroen opted to let off there, stayed in 6, nice high gear, and he can get his foot back flat to the floor as he exits the corner without worrying. Obviously, he can stay in 5th, I think, in high revs, but I think it's a little bit more dangerous, and I don't think it's particularly any quicker, so that would be why he did that. And why he's in tier 1, and I'm not. Is that Kush, despite losing the spot very early in turns 1 and 2, to Wouter, he stayed up there and he's still shown that he's got the pace, so he's done really well to get back on with the job. Is Wouter gone? I'm going to have to keep going back to these tyres to see who's on what. So Wouter is 5 laps through on mediums. Is that Kush also on the mediums? AJ and Nathan, the bros, have both gone softs. Has it paid dividends for them? Well, according to the changes, AJ has managed to keep 3rd and Nathan's jumped up 1, so far it's a good shout. But let's see what they're like towards the back end of this, and whether or not they're going to be still as fresh as the start. But in the race, it would be, was it 33 laps in total in the race? 35, 36. I think it works out like hards 21 and mediums I think is like 15, something like that as your totals. To be asking 12 of the softs, certainly doable. Nice weather and obviously good driving, but you do spend a lot of time in dirty air, unfortunately, around Brazil, because everyone's so tightly knitted together, and when you do spend too much time in dirty air, you can very easily lose the car. Nothing much more going on around the track at the moment. Let's drop back. The 2 Alfa Romeos are still in Alfa Tauri still in situ with Rudy and Sue in 11th. P setting a fastest lap at 1:09. Bang. Who's close to each other? That looks like Rudy's very close to someone, and they are side by side. Is that the two Alfa Tauris battling out? Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's the Mercedes Ferg battling out with Rudy and Sieb in the turns 1 and 2, and he just goes to take an inside line to try and protect, and then goes back on the outside to get a good entrance into the downhill descent of 4 and 5. Good driver is Ferg. Didn't have the start that he probably would have wanted. Got into some issues in our first couple of races, but showed class driving as well. I think we killed him on the comms last week, if I remember rightly. He was flying, and then had a. Again, sorry, I just kicked my wire out of. He was absolutely flying, and then yeah, he got into a bit of bother, and unfortunately that was him. But yeah, there's been 1 or 2 others that have been a little bit unlucky and had to claw themselves back up the grid. But nothing doing here. Pease is probably the close little fight on track, and he's just got on, and he's had a little look at Evans, and is he going to get it done? Evans on the mediums, it looks like it is. Further overtakes behind as well, but he gets it done nice and easy past Evans, who of course probably didn't fight too much there. Not much he could have done with such a long straight, and an extra overpower for Pease to get past in the DRS and DRS, albeit that Pease has not got a great deal now. Evans has saved a little bit, so will he make that move back? It's got every chance as they get back up to DRS with that little bit of slipstream, because there is a 2-second gap between AJ and Pease, bear in mind. AJ having a little look behind his bro in 3rd, so he's dropped that position back down again. I think that's AJ up too. I think they have swapped positions actually, AJ and Nathan, since I last checked. Is that right? Let's see where the position changes is. Yeah, they did. AJ was in 3rd in situ, wasn't it? That's where he qualified, so yes is the answer to that. We'll stay on board with Nathan for a second. Although he's 2 seconds behind. Let's have a little look at AJ, who's got looking ahead. What's happened there? Sieb is off the track. Unfortunate for him. Going at the bottom of Sector 2 towards Sector 3. It's the downhill left-hander. That is unfortunate. He's going to have dropped a few positions there, and that's not what the AlphaTauri wanted at all. Saw a few cars going by as Ferg and Rudy also going side by side towards turn 1. Are they going to keep it side to side right through the corner? Yes, they do. Brilliant driving by Rudy, to be honest. The luck wheels a little bit. Let's get off each other, but it's a fair corner. It's just about a fair corner. I don't think they particularly give each other much room, but you're not going to get that. It's in a sprint race. It's all or nothing, and Sieb goes really deep in the corner, makes sure that Ferg doesn't get the overtake done. These two with some brilliant driving between them, by the way. This is class to see. Let's have a little look at what it looks like on board with Ferg as he stares right down the barrel. And give you a bit of a first-hand look of what the drivers are seeing. This is slightly off-centre, this camera. Normally the camera is on the TV pod. And oh, that's Yoghurt that's also been in a bit of bother there as we see Ariel Ferg going past him. Again, that downhill left-hander. Such a slippy little corner to get back on the power, and Bumpy gets a 3-second penalty. It's all flying off now. We are in it. It just shows that after 9 laps, people starting to feel the tyres a little bit. Of course, Sieb on the softs 8 laps in. Was the softs the right decision? Nathan and AJ might tell you that. Towards the end it was, because it's certainly favoured them so far, but there's time still to go. I can't talk. Evans and Euron, I think have they just been to and fro again? I'm pretty sure he passed him before. So these two having a decent scrap. Or was that Pease that went past Evans? It might have been. But still, currently 5th in the championship, Evans on 18 points. But he finished in 10th last week, and I don't think that's particularly the numbers that he wants to be hitting. I think he'll certainly be aiming for your top 5s this season, or he'll certainly want to. So much competition, of course, in the big leagues. So much competition. So much talent as well. As you look around, Vouter being unbelievable so far. Nathan, fast as you like. AJ as well. Is currently sat in 2nd. In fact, you can't really name anyone on the grid if you go down, apart from Sieb. 3-second time penalty for him. Unfortunate for him. He's pushing maybe a little bit too hard to recoup the losses that he's just made with a spin, or he might have just found that the setup doesn't like the tyres to be this one on softs, and he's not quite enjoying his time there. But unfortunate for Sieb. I wasn't saying that Sieb wasn't as quick as the other drivers, or a good driver, by the way, before. It was just that he happened to get the penalty as I was talking. He is an unbelievable talent. We'll go on board with Pease. Is he going to get it done? Has a good look at AJ. Let's get outside the car. After the curve of the cell, DRS is on. He's got 1%, all of 1%, and he's now bled to 0%, and that means that he probably won't get it done because I've got... Ooh, hello. Was the contact there between the two? No, maybe not. But Pease really had to go on AJ there. Try it flying to the inside of the corner. Really took a lot of the corner out. Pease taken some interesting lines. Some lines not quite the same as other drivers. I don't know if there's some mind games going on ahead, or he's just found that that's the line that works better for him. That was a great corner, though. You see the way that Pease took it just a little bit wider and maintained that constant speed. He'll have had a constant lock on the car as well as he comes around there to maintain grip, and he is all over the back of AJ. AJ, of course, on the softs, you would imagine at this point Sieb's got the stronger tyre, or he's starting to say, well, no, yeah, with a lap to go, he's certainly on the stronger tyre. Will Sieb get it done? I reckon all of them on mediums will probably fancy themselves against the soft runners, but Nathan has an ability to protect AJ in behind him, really, by having it at a certain pace. He's going to have to get them both in one go, really. It's going to be tough to do them individually. It looks like people are side by side going round turn 1 again, but no, there has been no change to the order. Yes, there has. Pease has got past AJ. What am I talking about? He's also got ERS, so he's managed one. Will he get it done in time? You can see Nathan's just losing time and time off the front runners as Jerome and AJ are side by side. Euro even. There he is. What's he going to do? He's going to back off and try and do the undercut around the corner, is he? Or has he just thought better of it? I think AJ probably made the right decision there. At this point in the race, on our final lap, you certainly don't want to be losing the back of that car. Vouter still ahead of 6/10. Unfortunate for Knight, who's a Panda with a DNF as well. He's covering in tonight. Rudy gets it done. Is that Evans? Has he? Evans, what's happening there? It looks like he's just dropped 2 spots. I don't know if he's just lost the car a little bit, but he won't be too pleased with how this session has gone. But I'm going to jump on board with Wouter, who's just passing the line. Who takes the sprint race in first? Isaac Kush in second. Let's look behind. Is Nathan? Is he going to get taken by the line? Oh, he does get taken. No, he doesn't get taken by the line. It certainly looked like he had, but he didn't. So P's in fourth, Euro in fifth. AJ drops to sixth. P's and Euro managing to get by just towards the end of that final lap. The softs, of course, probably really struggling by then. Mark in seventh. He has finished as well. Where we're looking, Mark Evans, Rudy in ninth, Yoggett in 10th, Ferg is in 11th with Leroy in 12th. Back to the 13th of IRTT Griff, and I didn't quite make the last 2 towards the bottom of the grid, but that was the sprint race done. There's T Griffin 13th. Hey, watching, good evening. Hang on a sec, let me find the chat and the stream and stuff, see what people are chatting. Find the chat and the stream and stuff, see what people are chatting. Yeah, quotation, I really did mess up. And Forza Cone Dragon on speed, so accurate. He's like clockwork, isn't he, Dragon, with that Forza Cone? Love it. Keep that bouncing in with the hashtag. Brilliant. So welcome. There you can see Bosch 10 watching now. Is the race coming at the end or something? Maybe it is. Tier 2 as we see people dripping into the feed. There you go. The sprint race done. Wouter at the top of the pops is at Nathan Pijero and AJ, Mark Evans, Rudy, Yoggett, Fergley, Roy, T Griff, C, Bumpy Knight, Panda and Pyro. Unfortunately, they Tier 2 just end. Danny, we score it, lad. Alright, mate. Thanks very much for the heads up. I appreciate that, mate. So we're back here. Tier 2 is done. We're here in Tier 1, and just in time will everyone bounce onto the tier, because we, of course, are coming into the main race of Brazil. So the more the merrier. Let's get everyone in the chat and have a bit of crack. I shall put in a good bit in my little tag. I like to do that in every stream as well. I bet everyone's just clicked who that is finally now, because it says channel DMC on the chat in the YouTube, but it is Fandango. Should change that, really. Normally I would be joined alongside with Indigo. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. Fingers crossed, and the Gruesome Twosome will be back on the mic. Or in the MIC. Right, there's only 9 watching now. It was a 10 a second ago. Did I offend someone? Bring them back, get them invited, drag them in, sort it out. Hey, what's going on? Someone else dropped out. There's gonna be hell on. So give us a minute. We're just waiting for the drivers to come out and do their formation lap. 33 lap race around Brazil for Tier 3s. Again, if you've just joined us, for the people that have just joined us, I'll repeat it once again. Last week we had Wouter winning in Spain. Yoggett was in second after an unbelievable comeback, passing Nathan later on that just couldn't hold on to a second, but stayed on the podium for 3. P's in 4, Robbie in 5, Rudy in 6, AJ in 7th, and there was 6. Yes, 6. DNF's Topher still there. Get in. Yeah, he joined us last week as well, Topher, and welcome back, and thank you for tuning in and staying with us. Top draw. And I am also looking forward to a great race. It should be a barnstormer. We should be in for a good one here. I think the pace is going to be lethal. That turns 1 and 2. They were very good in the sprint race. I think everyone can probably appreciate that it was very fair, very fair. The turn 1 and 2 was a lot more cleverer than some other tiers that I've seen so far. CRC 3 was my example from Monday that I was in, that it didn't go so to plan in the sprint race. There seemed to be people bouncing off all over the place, 2 cars spinning out. Others contacted, several with damaged wings. It was not good. But Wouter leads them out on the formation lap. And here we go. So the centre S is, of course, coming down. Turns 1, 2, 3. That curve de sol, as I'm repeating for 4, which is just basically the curve of the sun, or de sol is, of course, the sun. So sun turn, sun curve. The lakes descent of turns 4 and 5, leading up that long hill. 4 and 5 can cause all sorts of problems in the early laps, especially when the tyres are cold. Going up towards the horseshoe in 6 and 7. Let's have a little look up the ball. Can we get the tyres on? So many of the track, as you can see, have gone with the hards. Of course, it could be a hard medium run. Some people going with the mediums early doors. I think I think some of them with the mediums, you know, I think the mediums isn't a bad shout to start. I've done this a few times now, this race right through. And early doors, when you've got cold tyres, to get them up to speed, you can actually make a few spots. But once you're doing the, you know, the pit stops and you're in the DRS and it's in a bit of a train later on in the race, it's, you know, with less fuel in the car as well, it's easier to control the hards quite quickly. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting choice going with the hards first, and whether or not, you know, especially with no traction. I don't know if everyone else feels the same, but no traction, getting the starts on this game is so difficult with no traction. Or am I just really poor at it? I am awful. I'll lose 3 places a race minimum just off the start, which is awful. I need to sort it out. So if anyone can help, get in touch, help me out, tell me what I'm doing wrong. There's probably multiple things. As we see the drivers all coming around, trying to stop themselves on the line and getting in that purple the little purple section. And we see someone at the back of the pack there just go for a spin just for the crack. That's Pyro, one for the cameras. And we jump on board with Jeroen. Oh, Jeroen was disqualified. AJ, he's not disqualified, of course. That's just him pulling up to the line in the wrong spot. And here we go. 5 lights are off and we are away. Here we are, Brazil, for the Corn Racing League's Tier 1, going up towards the first corner. There seems to be a little bit of a poor start from AJ as Matt got his inside. We're just having a look. It looks like his hands come in the air. There must have been contact. And whoa, there's a little bit of a wobble from AJ as well. He's on the inside turn. Everybody's just had to adapt a little bit behind him to make sure there's no contact. We're outside of the car. It looks like there's been some problems. Knight dropping a position down at Bumpier. Oh, no, it doesn't. It means that Bumpier's got by him. What a camera angle that is. Just on board with... Whoa, there's contact. There's contact as Ferg then goes straight on. It looks like he'd been contact. It looks like he's contact again as he re-enters the track with Yogurt. So there's all sorts of hell on going up there. We'll jump on board with Huron further up the pack. The front runners are all away now. First 2 on the hards. Nathan on the mediums, as we were talking about, might have that little bit of a better tyre. He goes besides his Akush. Why is that such a poor angle? We'll jump on board for a second, and then we'll get out of the car, because it's always that lovely little curved sight as we see the Alpine, the Alfa Romeo on the inside going side by side. That's Leroy and Yogurt in 10 and 11. Still on board with Nathan and Wouter just ahead. Clean. Let's keep jumping down them just to make sure that they're all coming around that corner clean. They are. Side by side goes. Who's them 2? They're further back. They've levelled out anyway. Just trying to find little pockets of fights on the track as everybody tries to get their tyres warmed up, basically. Wouter ahead, still on the track as they come down the first turn and towards turn 3. He's got a good little bit of gap ahead of him. Leroy again side by side going through that corner. He's got Bakya Yogurt alongside him for company going into turn 3 and takes P10 from him. Does Yogurt? Where else is there? Evans. He has got his eye on Jeroen in front, but he also has to consider Rude in behind him. I always say Rude. I always think of Rude van Nistelrooy. Rudy is just behind Evans. 1 lap in on the second lap. Down the left-hander. The sweep of the little orange, it's called, or Pinorino, sorry, should I say. Pinorino, the little pine tree. And then turn 10 is a duck's bill. The Duck's Bill, or what is translated as the Duck's Bill. Go on, Panda. Drag up that Aston Martin, or drag the Aston Martin up the field. He's doing well, isn't he? He's doing well. Let's see what the change of the positions are. Oh, where are we looking? I always get this wrong. Nathan setting the fastest lap so far with a 110.8. The only one to go in the 110 by the looks of it. Yeah, he is. Everyone else with a 111 or more. I'm going through the intervals. What am I trying to find here? Position changes. I should go on board with AJ because it looks like he's in a bit of a battle at the moment with Mark. He's on the outside of Mark in the Haas, and that is Bakya Yogurt gone. Oh, there we go. Just in the back of the view as you see the tyre fly off. That's Ferg out as well, is it? Is that Ferg that's in the wall? What on earth has gone on there? There's 3 cars parked at the end of turn 1. That's an absolute show, and that's the safety car out. And what on earth has gone down there? It's collected Yogurt, Leroy and Ferg, and they are all out of this race. Panda out the back. Didn't see what happened unfortunately on the stream, but what we certainly did see is one of the cars go flying into the wall and back. He's left the session, and oh my word, Wouter managed to keep the lead. Nathan got himself up. Probably not such a bad thing for Nathan on those the mediums to start with. Now getting a safety car so he can get a little bit more pace out of them towards when he's going to have to change on to the hards. At the same time, he probably didn't. Oh no, actually no, I've told you a lie, because he wouldn't have wanted that field to all start piling themselves back up, because the advantage of being on the mediums I guess is gone. Yeah, tough on that. tough one. There's not going to be any changes now in terms of where they are situated on the track, of course, because you cannot take under safety car, and we can see that the safety car itself is just parked at the end of the DRS straight at the end of the first sector, and it's just towards turn 4, the left-hander downhill that the Lakes descent. Good evening, Kaelin. Is it Kaelin or Callan? Kaelin in the chat, cheering on Rudy. He's representing his Rudy in the Alpha Tauris. I am also an Alpha Tauri this season. Had a decent start. They have indeed had a decent start. In fact, I think they're still at the top of the constructors is Alpha Tauri. I should get that up really, shouldn't I? Let's see if I can find that a second while we're just waiting for the safety car to take us around a couple of laps. If anyone's got the league ahead of them and in front of them already, just give us a shout. The standings. That was season 6. Season 5. Well, it's somewhere. I can't find it. It's somewhere. If anyone knows it. Yeah, because a shout what the current constructors is. It's there somewhere. But I've got that many things up. It's hard to track them down. Alpha Tauri flying this season, as we know from Topher. They have had a brilliant start to the season. Sieb and Rudy. Sieb wants to be, of course, a little bit higher on track than he is, but he's still in the race, and anything can happen very quickly. Ask Ferg, Leroy, and Yogurt. Yogurt, obviously, after such a good performance as well. Last week, getting all the way up to tier 2. He was in tier 1, but he was up at P2 behind Wouter, as it happens, who is leading the field and that we're on board with at the moment. We're now on board with him, and you can see that beautiful Aston Martin ahead of him on track of the safety car, looking behind him towards Nathan, weaving around, trying to keep some heat in those tyres. Best start, of course, it's Pyro should I say. He's in P10, up 8 positions from back of the grid after the first sprint, so he'll be much happier with that. But of course, after that first sprint, he had to start from the back and do it the hard way. Yeah, not great. Not great, but obviously we know that he's got pace. Can he do it? Can he get back up that grid and get some decent points? Sieb, pardon me. What did Sieb just do there? Did he go in the pits? Did he go in the pits? Yeah, he stopped twice as Sieb already after 5 laps of 36. Not ideal. One stop for Bumpier and T-Grip as well, that were clearly in a bit of bother early doors. Go back onto the tyres and see what they're all like. Everyone in 4 laps. I should have just put the tyres on, that would have told me anything I needed to know, wouldn't it? Are they coming in, or have they got another lap? They've got another lap. So it is going to stay out for a full 2 laps and come in ready to race on the 3rd. Just listen to the cars itself, have a little listen to it on track. Take all of the hood off for a minute as well, and we'll let everyone just enjoy the game, enjoy the camera angles that this game offers. Enjoy. Oh, hang on. No, I won't. Who's that? Oh, Sieb. Is he in again? Loves the pit stop, does Sieb? Loves it. He's coming out in the hards. Because why not? That's someone else coming out of the pits as well. That was Pyro. So the pair of them doing the pit stop. Not that it made a difference, of course, because they're certainly going to get around before the safety car gets around. I hope the sweeping right-hander at the top of here, yeah, we'll give that overview. What an angle that is. Superb. Don't get too close to that safety car, because you certainly don't want to be touching it, Wouter. Even at that speed, it'll completely write your car off. It gets up alongside it. He's teasing him. Here we go. Look at that view. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, still on board with Wouter. We're looking at the safety car just coming round the left-hander in turn number, is it 9? And then 10 ducks Bill, and then Dive is the turn 11. Now, we've got a green line on track. Does that mean he's going to be pulling away the safety car now while he pulls up? Plan A plus 4 from Kiln, yeah, absolutely. He's weaving away. He's weaving away. Safety car is in. Safety car is in. Let's have a little look. What's he going to do? Let's keep an eye. Can he get away from Nathan? He's tried to drop him. He slowed down and then boom. Didn't bother weaving. Nathan's trying to keep up with him. I think he has. They've just crossed the line now. And as you can see, P's on your own side by side. Let's get outside and oh no, there's been a casualty. It's that Kush in P3. It looks like he's gone sideways and he's slid out there turn 2 as well. That is so unfortunate. It doesn't look like he's got damage. Is he being able to get back on track? It looks like he might have been, you know, as you see the two cars so close to making contact there. So close in fact that I think your run had messed his corner up and maybe give Rudy a chance. Evans getting past Mark, the side by side as we speak, as the Haas goes flying on the inside. Ooh, you need to give each other room. They do. That's brilliant going around there, and he also tries to keep that position on the inside. Great driving by Mark there, in fairness to him. Evans on the inside as well, though. He won't take no for an answer, and he's going to keep trying and keep pushing and keep pushing. They're still side by side. A little bit more contact between the drivers. Sweeping round. What a little battle these two are having. That's brilliant drivers. Brilliant driving by both drivers. Credit where it's due. Mark doing very well to manage to actually make that stick round with Evans, but great driving by Evans as well. As I call, great driving by Evans. I'm on board with him, and he's just lost the plot. He's just, oh no, then he's in reverse. He's gone backwards. That was a complete show for Evans. Sorry, my mate, who was on board with him at the time. I've killed him. I've absolute killed Ariel Evans, who does lose it. And I tell you what, it is a tough corner to know when you can get your foot fully down round that side. And as you see, Mark is also dropping like a stone, and Mark's got into bother as well in turn 1. Oh my word. So that is Evans and Mark side by side, showing us some beautiful racing, maybe pushing too hard, but the pair of them find themselves 13 of 15 and 15 of 15. Wouter at the top of the pack. Only 3/10 is Nathan, by the way, on those mediums. 7 laps in, looking to get probably 15, 16 maybe out of them laps before, out of them tyres before you lose a bit too much pace to be keeping up with the hards, certainly fresh ones. Peace found himself in 3rd, was in 4th last week. He's finished 3rd, and he's finished 4th. Is he going to finish 3rd again? Who knows? We're only 8 laps in of 36. Feels like this has been going on forever, this race already, doesn't it? We're only 8 laps in, and that is purely because we've spent 3 laps behind a safety car after 3 drivers, Ferg, Leroy and Yoghurt, all getting into bother, all having DNFs, and all through turn 1. Bother through turn 1 and turn 2. Get in, Topher. That's what it's all about. Helping the comms out. Alpha Tauri 203, Ferrari 183, Red Bull 150, Williams 133, McLaren 124, and it went off my screen in time to see the rest of them. But thank you very kindly for that, Topher. I do really appreciate that. It helps me out, certainly when I'm not on my own. We should get you in. Let's do it. Let's get Topher for core comms next time. We can't get both of us in. Let's get him down for comms. So, Knight. On board with Knight, only 2/10 behind T-Grip. We've got 2 seconds to drop behind AJ as well. There's 2 lots of 4/10 with Nathan and Pease behind Wouter, who is just adamant on leading these races and getting himself out in the front and just sticking it. The pace he sets in these races is pretty frightening, to be honest. Really, really good. But you can see there's some great racing back here, and it looks to be a change of position between Soup and Pyro. Sieb puts himself into P10, gets past Pyro, of course, that was flying back up the field, starting down in 18th, up to 11th, so he's doing well. Let's have a little look at the rest of them and where they're currently looking. T-Griff with 1 stop in P7. In fact, everyone with a stop has managed to get themselves back up a little bit. Well, that's decent. Knight and T-Griff, let's get on board. Side by side, comes to turn 1. I think T-Griff gets it done. Sorry, Knight gets it done before he has to worry about T-Griff. Yeah, I think he's good. I think T-Griff's going to get a better launch into turn 3, though. Is he going to have enough? Because he's going to have DRS there, and ERS is going to be open. Does he get it done? Position changes. Intervals, leaders. Look at that on track. The Mercedes and the Red Bull go side by side. Don't see it much. Just all the time. Look at that. I almost want to say, I just want to stay quiet. Is it? I know I'm the commentator, I should be talking through all of this, but I'm just going to stay quiet. It's so good watching these just race side by side and listening to the game and the volume of the game and the camera angles it offers you around Brazil are pretty much as good as it gets. However, Knight has been in some bother there and drops right back. And has he got damage? No, he hasn't got damage, but he can continue. But he's just dropped like a stone. And I'll tell you what, some people haven't all. No, there's just three of these battling. That's Pyro, it's Panda, and it's Mark. They're all having some great. Look at this, all compacted up. If you go up the track as well, just ahead of them, all on this opening straight. Just coming down the same little pack here from the start of the grid as well. Wouter, Nathan, all on this opening straight. Look how close this race is. I know we've had the safety car, but even since then, there doesn't seem to be anyone that wants to really pull away from these packs. You do find people that are a little bit isolated. Ask AJ, who has got a little bit of a gap there in front and behind, and finds himself in the middle of sector 2 just on his own, so he's looking to try and catch that pack ahead, who will be battling amongst each other. It obviously is helpful to stay in that train, because you can of course get a little bit more slipstream with the DRS and ERS etc open. The most pressure of course being on the front car, because that's the only one that won't have the DRS upon that opening straight. So if Nathan gets close enough, the question is, does he take him, or does he just sit in second? Is he happy just sitting in second, making life hard for anyone who comes past him? And of course when he thinks the time's right, try and make a move. He's currently got 60%. Oh, he's used a little bit of ERS there actually on the opening straight, but so he should. That's just to get up to speed, because of course it's such a long road, and you get up to top speed, so of course just to get a little bit of help to get to that top speed is also always welcome. But he's got 20% of ERS versus Nathan's 45, so that does look in Nathan's favour. Pease has held on a little bit to it as well. Euron, I think, has had to do it the hard way a little bit. He had to sort of bump himself back up a few positions and manages to do it. Bump you behind Sieb and having a great little battle into turn 1, although Sieb looks like he's got through there relatively easy. I don't know if he was already ahead or not. Where we're looking, we'll just go back to the top and just have a little look on board with Nathan. Still has a good look at Wouter. This long horseshoe, turns 6 and 7, uphill right-hander, can't get on too fast. The full gas, unless of course you do gear up. I think you can get on it with a little bit quicker. This sweeping downhill, this is Pinarino, isn't it? Is this turn 9? Or is it? No, sorry, Little Orange, turn 8, Little Orange, and then Pinarino, of course, where we get this beautiful shot, usually from over the top of the cars. I'm sure we'll get it on another lap. It's absolutely amazing, stunning camera angles from the game. Credit where it is due. There's some obvious issues with the smooth running of the game at times, but there are certainly some beautiful things about it as well, so we'll always concentrate on them. AJ, only person on track to have started this race and still be in the position where he started the race. Rudy up 4 positions from P9 to P5, and Nathan's just lost it turn 1 just a little bit, has just allowed that few more tenths for Wouter to pull away, but of course he is still in that DRS zone inside that second, so he'll still be able to pull back up to him, and it shouldn't be too much a loss. But did he give an opportunity for Pease to close it up? I reckon so. Whether or not he can pull back away, they're both on the same tyre, aren't they? Oh God, I keep forgetting what they're all on. Nathan's, yeah, so the top 6. Well, top 6 are all on hards. T-Griff on the mediums. Yeah, only one more on hards, which is Pyro. And did Pyro get in a bit of bother? He set the fastest lap there, but he's dropped right back, or has he just switched to... Oh, sorry, I think he's just pitted, hasn't he? Oh no, that was 2 laps ago. Wasn't he higher up? All of them were fighting positions for before, so I apologise if I've missed anything. It's pretty hard to keep up with what else going on. No, Pyro has had a second stop, hasn't he? And he's let back out in 2 from there. Talking a lot of nonsense, aren't I? Right, nearly gets the second out, does Wouter on Nathan, but is Pete's going to get his opportunity here? He's having a little look at Nathan. Is he going to have a chance to get down there in time? I don't think he is, and of course that ERS isn't on his side. Maybe he's better off just sitting behind Nathan and accepting where he is for a few laps. Did Ariel get in a problem? Yeah, he did. Evans again getting in a bit of bother. He's of course been in a slight little spin that cost him before already, that dropped him to the bottom of the pack. So unfortunate for him, because he's quick as Evans, and I know that he did have decent in qualifying. He's caught 5th in the championship as well, behind Wouter, Rudy, Pease and Nathan, who find themselves, Wouter, Nathan and Pease in the top 3, Rudy in P5. Let's go farther up the pitch. Up the pitch, up the track. Hang on, what's going on with Mark? He looks like he's all over the back of Bumfier. We'll have a little look at there. Let's have a little look outside the car. Yeah, you see him just back off a little bit there. I think he thought about it and then just backed off ever so slightly. just to avoid any wing damage. Wing damage can be brutal as well. Again, back in Tier 3, I got some wing damage after being bumped into in Turn 1, and that's it. You know, that is it. It's not one of them tracks where you're forgiven much for not having a great, lose any downforce really and get out of that train and you're in bother. Definitely, because everyone else is going to have so much more pace than you. As you see, Mark has DRS this time. Peace does as well, but Nathan close enough as well. He's inside that second, so normal business resumed at the front of affairs. We are probably looking at Nathan. I mean, Nathan's doing quite well on the tyres. He's doing fine to be keeping pace. There's no sign of him losing any pace with the mediums at the moment. You'd think that, 36 laps, what's that? Double 18s, isn't it? 18. Is he going to try and do a half and half? Will he still be able to keep the mediums to be going that long? But of course, when he comes in for his hards, it's going to be Wouter, Pease, your own, all on these mediums. Or are the hard runners going to try hard soft? We've seen a few people try the soft in the sprint race to try and get around those 12 laps. So if you can get the hards to go enough, obviously you're looking at 20. What is it? 28? No, it's not. 24. You're looking at 24 laps. Instead of 21 laps out of the hards. So to do hard mediums, to go hard soft. Whether or not these will, because of track position and because of being able to stay inside DRS, then they might. Is that Nathan? Just the first little sign of him not quite getting round turn 1 and 2 as fast as Wouter, but he's inside that 1 second, as I keep saying. Rudy in P5, he's flying as you would expect. The current second place in the championship with 42 points, bearing in mind, as it happens, 12 again is the number. 12 points ahead is Wouter with 54. Wouter, of course, second in Great Britain and won Brazil last week, so flying for him. All just about to fly off. Interesting to see what's going to go down now. The medium runners. Tigriff's going to have a few more laps. Obviously, he pitted, so he's got less tyres out. And Pyro obviously coming onto the mediums now. Whether or not Pyro will get to the end on the mediums, might be a big ask. He might finish on the softs. Fastest lap might be in view. Nothing doing. All I can see is that Nathan's doing really well on these mediums to keep pace just nicely with the hards. You can see that it hasn't quite leaked over yet, that little transition. Wouter just keeps looking like he's going to try and get a bit more pace. I think he has actually got more pace, does Wouter, now in the tyres. But I think, to be honest, Nathan's doing such a good job at staying inside that second. He's just not managing to pull away just yet, and he's just getting tucked up right behind him. So the differences he's making so far is not quite enough to be getting by. So yeah, good drive by Nathan so far. P's in P3, Euron and Rudy all tucked up, and then there's a little bit of a gap to AJ that still finds himself a bit isolated. There's the forward 5, and then there's the 5 behind him of 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 that are all sort of tucked up in a nice little bit as well. Bumpy obviously a slight bit behind that sort of following 4 pack, but yeah, we've got a pack of 5, AJ, pack of 4, and then Bumpy. So yeah, they're all carrying each other at the moment. Nothing much doing on track in terms of battles. Is that Kush just behind Tigriff? Is he going to get an opportunity going down the opening straight? Only 3 tenths behind as he hits the DRS. But at the moment with other cars, it looks like actually Isaac Kush is going to dive in the pits and believes that 16 laps on hards is enough. And he is going to jump in now and thinks that he can go the last 18 laps on the mediums all right. And that's what he's going to do. And that decision has been made because he's in there. You're rowing 3 tenths behind. He's staying out there. He's going to stay a little bit longer on the hards. Mediums, 18 laps on mediums is well doable. Obviously, you'll be a little bit slower towards the end of like optimum fastest time. I think is the optimum for hard medium. I think is 21 and 15. I still think I'm right on that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's the recommended, like game recommended strategy in terms of your optimal tyres and optimal if you drove them perfectly. Way up, there was nearly a bit of contact there with Euron and Peace. Euron just taking a narrower line, but it looks like they're all holding each other up. Rudy right up amongst it now. He's tucked himself right in behind this leading pack, so he'll be over the moon with that. Yeah, I'm just thinking there, the top 5 are all different constructors, which is certainly a Brucey bonus. That none of them are going to do a double stack in the pits. There's only AJ. It was only 6 seconds behind Wout, whether or not they pick a different lap to go in. But yeah, it shouldn't. They shouldn't really clash. Here we go. Bit of a battle round turn number 1 with Mark and T-Griff. They go side by side. Just going to the RS, who's going to have it? It looks like Mark is, so is he going to pull ahead? He does pull ahead and manages to get himself above T-Griff as they're coming in towards the downhill. Ooh, left-hander, you can go out on the outside of that turn and use as much corner as you can, getting on the accelerator as fast as possible to maintain your speed. And it looks like Mark's been able to pull a little bit away from T-Griff going round that sweeping uphill horseshoe right-hander, the turns 6 and 7. Of course, they do have all the Brazilian names. I'm translating everything really to you. Try and do the Poster, isn't it? The straight after turn 3. Poster, we just see Wouter coming round to start number 20 or lap number 20 on these hard tyres. I imagine a couple of laps. I'm in my prediction, couple of laps, maybe 20, 21, 22. That's going to be when you're going to see all these hards start diving in. Mark has now come in 19 laps on the hards. He feels like he's had enough, and the mediums is all he needs now to take him to the end of this race. We'll see. Looks like the weather's been kind as well, because Brazil doesn't mind a spot of rain. We only had that in the one-shot quali, but it was actually nice and sunny for the sprint race, and of course it was again for this race, as we see Isaac Kush with a 1:09 and putting in the fastest lap of the race. Mark dropping right down in the pits, but of course that is him done once he's pit. Is the undercut on the rest of the field going to work? Is he going to be able to gain himself some places? Any position gains is a good position gain around Brazil. There's not loads of positions where it's easy to take, and certainly if you take the wide line around here, I find that it's very difficult to keep the pace with people, although we've seen it's very much doable by that unbelievable piece of driving earlier in the race by Evans, and someone else was alongside him. The pair of them were really, really good. Really good to watch. Was it Tigre? Or someone, I can't remember. Can't remember who it was, but it was, superb. Might have been. No. Yeah, I don't know. So, Wouter just bleeding that ERS, trying to keep ahead. Nathan's obviously retained quite a lot here to do his laps out on these mediums. He might just be all right, Nathan, as long as he gets those hards warm quick, and he doesn't. He's not going to be. It's not going to be too costly. So, Isaac Kush comes out, puts himself in front of Evans going into turn 1, gets done. Alpine having the worst night, unfortunately, in Tier 1 tonight. The Alpines of Pyro and Leroy, you'll be able to see their names on the bottom left of your screen. DNF on lap 2, on lap 3, should I say. Unfortunately, going downhill in that turn 1. It looked like there was contact potentially between a couple of drivers. It was very difficult where the angle was, but you could certainly see bits of the nose coming off the car. And then, of course, we saw Pyro going into the wall. Or was it Yoga? Or I don't know which one it was that we saw going the wall, but obviously in a bit of bother. P second as Nathan gets himself into the pits. Jerome also decides to go into the pits. Where are they going to come out? And is this 21st lap that they've decided to stay out on a good idea? Because at this point I think the hards are going to be starting to struggle. Just a little bit, not struggle, but you certainly could always go around on hards, but hang on, Rudy's just set a purple sector 1. Maybe the hards aren't so bad. Isaac Kush going fastest lap again, flying with a 1:09.8. So they certainly are keeping enough pace at the front for now. But they can't have loads left. And when I say loads left, I don't mean the tyre. I'm sure the tyres can do over 30 laps easy, but it's more the pace of the tyre, and having optimal pace of each tyre round here in Brazil for race number 3. Softs for Nathan, so he fancies himself to do the 14 laps that are left, and Nathan's fancied that also in the sprint race when he opted for softs as well. Good decision, bad decision? There's only one way to know. Rudy now comes into the pits. All the front runners come into the pits. That's Wouter, Pease, Rudy. Thank God no one had got any coming in the pits too fast, as AJ takes his spot at the front of the race. He decides that he's going to have another lap out on those hards before he comes in, and that is potentially to avoid doubling back on his teammate Wouter. So unfortunate for AJ, because I think he might have wanted to come in there, but Wouter, he would have double parked the cars and he would have cost himself a little bit of time, probably a couple of positions. My argument is this extra lap going to cost him more time than it would have him sitting for, you know, a fraction in the pits? You just don't know, do you? But Nathan has come out in front of Wouter, hasn't he? Oh yeah, he has come out in front of Wouter. So Nathan gets the undercut done and actually goes into the lead effectively against Wouter, the true race leader. So Nathan, what a shout. That was by him taking a one lap earlier and getting onto those softs before they went round. The argument is that towards the end of this race, there's no doubt that Wouter probably has a little bit more grip. And look at this, you're on him. Is that piece? What's going on? Oh, hang on. I'm getting confused with the mapping at the side. Did that just change? Sorry everyone, I think I just got confused there a bit. I don't know what on earth just happened. Some people changed positions though, but I thought I was with the front 2-3. Oh, I was with the front 2-3, sorry, I know what I'm on about now. Nathan got past Bumpier, who was just being passed around. That is also just because he's getting lapped, is Bumpier? Oh no, he isn't. He stayed out. Sorry. He stayed out. He stayed out, just Bumpier. He's had the 20 laps of that, so he's going to probably come in for the softs, but maybe just get that extra lap of the hards before he comes in to do the softs as Bumpier. So that is your 1-2. Your own obviously getting past him as well with the fresh tyres. But yeah, maybe not such a bad shout by Bumpier, because he'll probably be able to draft up behind these cars a little bit. Is that Cush absolutely flying? Gets past Knight further back. P's also passing Bumpier further down. Obviously that's going to happen. 20 laps of hards versus T-Griff and Wouter. Look at that little battle. Just in behind T-Griff and Euron there. Look at that. Tell you what, it's hard to keep up with who's who. That's P's in the McLaren. Manages to put himself in P6. Fantastic little battle there. T-Griff obviously trying his best to keep the tyres, but he's obviously going to be struggling with 20 laps of the mediums, and he's going to be coming in for the hards any minute, or certainly should be. Sorry, for the softs any minute. They're probably doing a medium soft for T-Griff. Because he stopped early doors, so actually it'll be like a hard medium soft that he'll do. And Nathan sets the fastest lap by 1/10. It was a 109.8. It's now a 109.7. Fastest man on track currently in those soft kicks, as you would expect, I suppose. Knight getting past T-Griff as well. Oh no, he isn't. T-Griff's coming for those softs, and he is in the pits. So there's just the top two on the track now. There is AJ Wuhan and Su in positions 1 and 2. 24 laps on the softs is AJ. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be popping it in for some softs, isn't he, towards the end, and try and get fastest lap and retain as many positions as possible. Maybe he's even hanging back and seeing if there was a little bit extra time for a safety car to start coming out, but it looks like the drivers, and testament to them, are keeping this really, really clean. Tough track as well, so easy can you lose the car around here if you try and be a bit too greedy. So sometimes it's just about consistency. In fact, it's not sometimes, every time it's about consistency. Every single time bar none, and that seems to be the main thing. You know, you got to be consistent. You got to finish the race. Certain Mr. Schumacher, I believe, his quote would have been up there as well. First, at the race, you've got to finish it, and that's the main one for that. So unfortunate. Pyro, of course, we lost as well. On his first lap out on the softs, maybe pushed it a little bit. Didn't quite have them up to temp. Oh, my room's boiling. The studio, should I say. The studio's boiling. Nathan finds himself only 4 seconds and catching very, very quick for these front two. Wondering what exactly the strat is for them front two. I think if they get in, they'll probably come out in front of... Oh, no one. Yeah. They'll lose a few positions, but I don't know how it would be benefiting them by staying out currently. So has Nathan had an absolute worldy picking the softs there and coming in a lap earlier and making the undercut on the race leader at the time of Wouter, who'd been leading from the off, by the way. He might have had an absolute worldie there, Nathan. Credit where it's due if he manages to pull 14 laps off on the softs and manages to keep pace the whole time. But very, very good. Wouter, I think he'll be quite happy where he's situated there. He'll be trying to collect a little bit more ERS again to try and make that move on Nathan. But, you know, Nathan's good at defending, and I wouldn't want to leave it too late in the race before I made an effort to try and push myself past him, or try and get past him, make the launch. Just coming up to some back markers. No, they're not. No, they're not. I keep going on as if it's 1-2, but the first driver in this race currently is AJ. On the 26 laps of hards. Sieb in second. Credit where it's due for Tier 1 as well, by the way. Not a single penalty at all on the track. So people might have had warnings, 1 or 2 or whatever, but certainly not a third for any corner cutting. These two at the front are almost just about to start having a bit of a tussle between them. And you can see just at the back of that same turn, here we go, Nathan, Wouter, Jeroen, Pease and Rudy. That little train there, and packs of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 race true, absolutely flying down the opening straight. None of them are going to give an inch, but it looks like, is he going to make an effort? That's Wouter on the inside. Is he going to get it done? Stays on the inside, pulls back in front of Nathan just before the turn, makes sure that he blocks any chance of him getting back past Nathan, and he does pull off. You're not going to see him for dust now, are we? Wouter, is he going to get pulled forward? We will see. Isaac Hush looks like he, in the Haas, managed to get the move done on the McLaren of Bumpier in turn 1, just before Jeroen, 1/10 right on the back of the Red Bull of Nathan. Still in second, Nathan, just getting overtook by Wouter there. It was 2 seconds behind the true race, the actual race leaders current of AJ and Sieb. Catching them quickly, though, with the younger tyres and moving pretty sharpish. Are the front two just going to go the whole race? Is it? Do you have to? No, you have to, don't you? You must do. So they'll be coming in for soft. Sorry, I was thinking you have to use 2 compounds, don't you? You can't just go a full race on hards. Can you? Just correct me. I'm sure you have to change. I might be completely wrong. I wouldn't be surprised. And AJ gets taken by Sieb. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he does. Sieb gets it done. Slightly fresher tyres than AJ, but the pair of them doing a little bit of a battle at the front. Probably want to be pulling each other down that straight and try and keep away from people as well as possible. And that's down towards the Descida do Lago, which is turns 4 and 5, as I say. That's otherwise known as the Lakes Descent. And then they go down towards turn 6, which is the Ferradura of turn 6, and then Cava de la Nanjina, which is turn 7. That's 6 and 7 of the Horseshoe. Up to Little Orange. Mandatory pit stop. Thank you, Topher. There is rain coming soon. Is there rain coming soon? Doesn't look like it at the moment. All there is a bit of a black cloud towards there, and it has gone a little bit darker. P's getting ahead of Rudy there. They're just side by side, though. They're going to keep it clean. Rudy keeps the inside of the turn. Is he going to try and stay on his outside? He is trying to stay on his outside. He's going to be at the inside. Is Pease for the next turn and manages to keep it there. He's going to brake late as well. Pease going into the left-hander and uphill. He can easily lose the back of the cars. We saw, unfortunately for Evans earlier on, came victim of that corner. And that is some great driving by Rudy to keep it on the outside. Pease manages to keep him in behind. Absolutely brilliant driving as Jeroen goes past. Nathan gets it done. Is Nathan managing to keep the pace on those softs? Not sure. I thought that was a hard runner still. Just confirming about the hard runners. We were both a little bit confused. Knight's gone in the pits. He's going to come in for the final 6 nights. 6 nights? 6 laps. Ariel Lap coming in for the last 6 nights. Ariel Knight coming in for the last 6 laps. Wouter in 7 laps on those mediums, and just closing on Sieb. And you would imagine he's going to get the job done very, very soon. AJ out on track on 29 laps of hards. Is he helping his little bro out there? Is he keeping Euron behind? Is he giving him a chance? Oh, is there a bit of that going on? I doubt it because they're different constructors, but look at the Ferraris of Wouter and AJ, by the way. What a day out it's going to be for the Ferraris if they manage to keep this. As we can see, Pease finds himself in the pits. There's a bit of weird... No, he doesn't find himself. AJ finally finds himself in the pits on those hards. What a stint, by the way. That's AJ's absolutely unbelievable stint on those hards. Certainly, he keep the pace he did as well was pretty special. Rudy just about alongside AJ. We get outside the car with a McLaren of Pease absolutely sniffing around the back of the cars, trying to stay right up the back of Rudy to try and keep that inside line and further push further push Rudy behind him, and Pease is just trying to nick that position. Is he going to manage to keep it? Rudy and Pease having some brilliant battles. Pease starting to stick on the outside. Rudy and Pease. Look at these pair go side by side down the hill. Don't push him off. There's a slight bit of contact, I think, and that just saw a little bit of a wobble of Pease there. Might have got into a bit of bother. It looks like his wing's all right, but that's fine. He's just tucked back in with Rudy, and I think it's normal service resumed with these top five. Wouter is pulling away. Sieb is the next behind him, but over 2 seconds now to Euron, and Wouter looking at 5 laps worth of consistency to see him have a second win of the season, and 3 top 3 finishes, 3 podiums and 3 races is pretty special, has to be said. So Euron just having a little look at Sieb. He's going to probably get that move done soon. What an effort by Sieb though on the hards as well. To be keeping this type of pace is pretty good. Rudy and Nathan have a little look at each other. Nathan just in behind Rudy. Rudy goes ahead of Euron. What's happened? Euron's lost it as Euron. Oh, unfortunate. That's at the end of the long straight, the first DRS, and there is a problem as Mark gets a penalty down in P11 as well. He's going to get a 3-second time penalty. That means that Evans could get inside him, and this is curtains for Euron. He is already had some hot tyres from the last spin, and he's spun again, and that means that Isaac Kush has gone past, and that is bad news for him. So late in the race as Bumpier also gets past him. That is tragic, but that means that the 2 Alfa Romeos in Sieb and Rudy are now up on the podium with AJ, of course, having to come in eventually for the change. Yes, sorry, I was saying Ferrari were flying, but of course AJ had to pit for the softs, but he's certainly going to like the softs. Him and Knight are going to be probably looking to go put a faster slap on. AJ fancying himself for the faster slap. Obviously you see Rudy going past Sieb. Hopefully Sieb doesn't make him do any work to get past him whatsoever. Makes the right decision because they are of course teammates, and Sieb is not in that fight. But yeah, he's still pushing his Sieb. 20 laps worth of hards. Nathan, of course, opted for the softs turn on lap 8. He got into a bit of bother going through turns 1 and 2, and I think that was where he got passed by Wouter in the first place, and of course Rudy getting by as well. But he's got Sieb just ahead of him on track, and Nathan's still doing well. Not to forget that he was on the podium last week in P3, and currently looking like it's a possibility again here with Pease not giving him an inch, by the way. Pease not all. Oh, we've just seen Nathan go on stream. He's lost it, and that is it, Nathan. That's the wheel gone. He's put his foot down too quickly down the left-hander, and unfortunately just as I was complimenting on his driving, did so well. Unfortunately those softs didn't quite make it to the end, or might not have just wanted to hold on, but he has lost it, and that is the safety car out. That means that we're only going to be looking at a lap or 2 tops for the final part of this race, but so unfortunate for Nathan to lose out on that turn. It looked like everything was going well for him, and that is how fast a race completely change. And oh my word, Sieb has been speeding into the speed lane, in the pit lane, and that's going to cost him a 5-second penalty by the look. It hasn't come up on screen that it's given him that though yet. It says he's in the pits, but is it going to give him it upon leaving, that he's going to get a speeding penalty going into the pit lane? That's so unfortunate. Some of them, there's quite a few of them are coming into the pits now to get the softs for the last couple of laps. Is this the right thing to do? Safety car 1-2 lap race final from Dragon. Absolutely, mate. I don't know what is the right thing to do. Do you try and keep track position by the mediums at the front are trying to do that? Wow, Rudy Pease are trying to keep race position. AJ now is going to tuck right up behind them, by the way, on those 3 laps of softs. So he'll take that all day long. He'll have the quicker tyres, so keep an eye on AJ Sieb as well in 5th, has come back out of the pits, but of course he got the speeding penalty going into the pits. Absolute mare at this time of the race to be getting that type of penalty when you've done so well to get back up into the into 5th position, so he's going to be devastated with that. Isaac Kush, the times are now all irrelevant because you can see everyone down from that are all now on soft cars. The race, oh, we're in. Hello? What? That's incredible, absolutely incredible. So I thought we were definitely on for one more lap of the safety car. As we see it pull away, all of the track, there's so many of the track that are not yet ready for this to go. There's a few people, Nathan said as well, thought the rain was coming, and it didn't. Softs were completely dead. Pain from Nathan in the chat, and yeah, it was very, very unfortunate. They were dead. Well, they weren't. They didn't look it. He made it look like they certainly weren't. I thought he did one hell of a job, Nathan, actually, on those softs to do as well as he did, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Little bit of a wobble from the 3 at the front when the safety car came in. That's Rudy putting himself, he is in P2 behind Wouter. P's in 3rd. AJ, Dragovith, no Mikey, no. AJ in 4th. Is he going to be quicker than these on the mediums now? The mediums you can easily get. They'll still be pretty much up to full pace, but obviously the softs will be faster, but the mediums are certainly not, running out at this stage after 12 laps. They're still good. So I can't imagine that there's going to be a great deal of opportunity for any of these 3 to get by, but we'll just stay on board with AJ for a second to see if he can get it done as Panda gets past. Doesn't Evans and Panda look like they're having a little tussle back further in the back 4, 12th and 13th? By the way, that's the last of the point scorers. P12 will get points, so that is the last point available, and it's always worth fighting for. Jeroen just behind Bumpier. It looks like there's the first specks of the rain starting to fall, and it is too little too late. Unfortunately for many of the drivers that might have budgeted for this rain to fall, is it going to make a difference? We're on the final lap. Is there going to be enough rain to make the track wet enough to actually make it dangerous for the people? Yeah, I see it too. There is, I see rain. There is rain, but is it going to matter? We're on the lap 36 of 36 of the Brazilian Grand Prix for CRC I, Tier 1 of Cones Racing League. Are we going to see a difference? Mark gets that fastest lap in time for a 108.9. So Mark in P10 gets the fastest lap. Unfortunate for him, he's going to have a penalty that's going to be applied to his time at the end. Although it doesn't look like it's going to make a difference because Knight is considerably behind him, and it'll be much more than the penalty is worth. Only light speckled rain for Wouter. Rudy having a decent look at him. Are any of them going to try and make a difference? Looking at this, Wouter's got enough ERS now to protect himself quite easily from Rudy. And from Peas, they're equaling each other as well, so if they get behind each other, there's not going to be any changes there. Isaac Kush managed to get past AJ and is on fresher tyres, and he's made it go on. Isaac Kush is going to lose it again. Oh, he's collected Sieb. Has he collected Sieb? Oh my word, he has. Damage right at the end. Isaac Kush lost it. Jeroen just going past the debris at the bottom of the final turn, and oh my word, and sorry, I've just missed our race lead to go across the line. Wouter wins the Brazilian Grand Prix with Rudy beside him. Drama right at the very bottom. Isaac Kush manages to get past Sieb at the end there. So does Jeroen. So there must have been some penalties incurred in there. Sieb has dropped again. Bumfier has managed to get past him. So that's unfortunate. Rudy, his teammate, what a fantastic race by him. He manages to get P2. Great drive by Sieb. He's just a bit unlucky in the end that it's not quite fell for him as they all come over the line. Ariel Knight will be the fastest, the next to come over the line. 8 seconds, so he caught up a bit on Mark with his penalty. And then we've got Evans and Panda just to finish our race off around Brazil. What a race. I tell you what, if that rain had came about 5-10 minutes earlier, that would have been one hell of an end to the race, because that would have really put the cat amongst the pigeons. Superb. Tier 1 done. Driver of the day, as according to the game, was Bumpier. And that was it. Wow, I didn't stop for breath. I always do that when I'm on my own. Let's have a little sip of water as we see our race winner come to the podium. Wouter, bang, at the top of the pops. Rudy gets his second spot. And of course the McLaren up there on the podium will be chuffed to bits. So that was Brazil. Brazil. Wouter wins. He is first for the Ferraris. Thank you very much, Dragon. I appreciate that, mate. I do appreciate that. It's hard work on your own, especially trying to keep up when there's all sort of... did the water sound nice? Sorry, sorry, Scotty. It is the nicest ever, by the way, as well. It's still just below freezing, so I'm over the moon. Anyway, I'll shut up because at the top there you'll see the race weekend. Ariel P's in second for the McLaren. Second McLaren, not third for the McLaren. AlphaTauri of Rudy in third. Is that how they finished? I thought Rudy was second. Isaac Kush in fourth for the Haas. In fifth was AJ in the Ferrari. You're rowing behind him. Nathan. Oh no, hang on. I know what's happening. That was the sprint. Results for the race that was just happening now. Wouter won it. Rudy was in second for the AlphaTauri, and Pease was in third with the McLaren. AJ in fourth for the Ferrari. Isaac Kush, just towards the end, nearly chucked it away, but he managed to compose himself and get that car over the line, starting in P2 and finishing in P5, but still a good race in the end for him. You're rowing in P6 for the Alfa Romeo. Bumpier, Seam, T. Griff, and then going down, you've got Mark, Knight, Evans, and Panda, I think, was the last to finish. Unfortunately, of the non-finishers, you've got Pooh and Nathan towards the end, who's lost it on those softs, having raced so well and keeping it in either second or first pretty much, and that undercut after the pits, superb. But yeah, Yoggurt, Leroy, Ferg, we saw, and unfortunately Pyro all being in bother. Isaac Kush, I've just seen in the chat about a good recovery from him. I would actually agree with that. Really good recovery from Peas. Okay. Yeah, there was quite a few people that said that they believed rain was coming, and of course we did see that there was rain coming right at the very end of the race, but it was on the last lap when the speckles of rain started to fall. So Brazil didn't let us down. It still had to rain. It managed to get the rain in there. Congratulations to Ariel Mark. He wouldn't have been too chuffed with the 10th position, probably for where he felt he could have finished, especially starting 7th on the grid, but the congratulations to him is for his fastest lap. That point will be made up. Congratulations. But unfortunately there was also a penalty for him for the 3 seconds, so that might have cost him towards the end. Brilliant race. Thank you everyone for watching. Next week we are here back live for we're in Italy next week for the Monza for the race 4. The Ferrari home Grand Prix. Yes, we are here for Monza next week. So make sure you tune in. That's for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Of course, we've got the Tiers 3 and 4 opening the account in Monza first. That's going to be on Monday. Hope everybody tunes in for that. Everyone, please make sure that you like and subscribe if you've watched and you haven't already done it. Tell your brothers, your mothers, your fathers, tell everyone about this racing league. We've obviously had a few people in. I fancy going Monza in real life. Yes, F1 Copy Cone. Yeah, we've got Monza coming up in real life too. Yeah, of course. The 0-0 wings, as Topher says. As it happens, I think I've tried it already, and I think I'm 1-0. Not quite good to do. Not good enough for 0-0. But we can see a few things have been coming in as well, and stewards' reports from a few of the drivers putting them in. So the final positions, as we see them on screen at the moment, might not necessarily be the final positions after the stewards have had a little look at and daddies. Once these stewards have had an opportunity to have a look at a few of the contacts that were made during the race, and we'll jump back to the results for the sprint race as well, and that was Wouter that also led that, so pretty solid day for Wouter, wasn't it? He was second in the one-shot qualifying, Isaac Kush being first, went on to win it, and then, of course, started first for the second race, kept first for the second race. Nathan, of course, having a great effort to try and stop him from finishing there, and unfortunately him himself not managing to finish the race, which is so very unfortunate for him. When I'm in this position, I don't think I can get out of this page. Yeah, I think it's like... it just keeps you here now. I don't think I can go back to the main page. So I'm going to end the stream there, but we'll do interviews after the next race, because that's in Monza, and we'll take our time, have a little chat with everyone after there and see how things are going. But Wouter extends his lead at the top. That's a second, a first, and a first for him, and he is currently flying at the top of Tier 1. Rudy himself is also second in the championships, 12 points behind. He finished first and sixth, and now he's got a second, and he's back on the podium again this week. Pease, by the way, is flying as well. Pease has been superb so far. Let's not discount him. He has finished third, fourth, and back to third, and puts himself on the podium once again. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As I say, join us next week when we're back for race number 4 for all tiers, starting on Monday with tiers 3 and 4, and then on to Thursday again next week for tiers 2 and 1. And I'll be back again next week, and I very much look forward to seeing everyone again. Thank you, and that's everything for tonight.